Self-care is not selfish. It's actually vital for your health and your performance. And the problem is we kind of get stuck and sucked into being reactive, helping out, dealing with everything, managing everything, especially as a leader. But the truth is, if we're not really taking care of ourselves, it really hits us, because if we're not putting on that oxygen mask first, we can't sustain helping others. We can't sustain being an effective leader. And if we're not taking care of ourselves, it definitely has an impact on our physical health, mental health. Burnout can absolutely happen. And it really impacts all areas of life. So self-care is vital. Welcome, I'm Heike Fallon, a personal high performance coach, and I coach my clients to master their self-leadership with a brain-based approach, because we need to lead ourselves from within first in order to be effective leaders. If you like this video, share it with your friends and other leaders. Subscribe to my channel. My mission is to help more leaders to be effective and healthy and to sustain. So welcome, I'm excited you're here. So what exactly is self-care? A lot of people think self-care is doing some activities like going to the gym, taking a yoga class, or going for a walk, which are all great activities. And yes, they do have an impact on your health. But self-care is a lot more. It's implementing and taking time for activities, but it's also so much more that you have to do as far as implementing different strategies to be successful, to get the full benefits. Because if you do a good job with your self-care, taking care of yourself, which means your physical, your mental, your emotional health, your spiritual health, your environmental health, so many different areas, really all areas of your life, you will be less stressed, you will be more productive, you will have more self-esteem, decision making, problem solving becomes easier if you do it right. So there's lots and lots of benefits. And before you pick all the activities and just jump right in, here's what I would recommend to get started with. Number one is you want to first know a little bit more about you, what you like, because there's so many people that start going to the gym, especially beginning of the year. They go 3-4 times, they join a gym 3-4 times, and then around 4 to 6 weeks they start to burn out because they didn't really enjoy it, they didn't really make sure it fits in their schedule, so it becomes overwhelming and just another load of stress. And that's not the point, right? So the point is that you first have to figure out, what do you like? What do you love doing? Just because other people go to the gym, that doesn't mean you have to go to the gym. I don't like working out in the gym, so I do physical activities. Otherwise, I like to be outdoors. So find what you like. What are things that you enjoy, that are relaxing for you, that make you feel better? And then you also want to know what your values are, because oftentimes when we know what our values are and we connect that with our goals, so you do want to also have goals, that actually, when all that aligns, that makes it less stressful and it becomes more easy and more the flow, right? So do know what you love, know what your goals are, know what your values are, and align that all up and find something that you love doing. Also, big planner here, so plan first. It's not, I always can't stress it enough. Start small, start really small, because you want to not burn out and it doesn't fit in your schedule. So what you want to do is start, like, let's say you want to, singing makes you happy and is relaxing for you. Instead of planning like an hour every day, start, maybe with 20 minutes, 15 minutes, 3 times a week. So, and then build it up from there. So plan that out and figure out what fits in your current schedule. And then you can always increase from there, and you can always shift things around. But the goal is, whatever activities you do, you really enjoy, and they fit in your calendar and they have a spot in your calendar so that it does not feel more overwhelming and stressful. Also, one big component I always say, figure out what your boundaries are that you need to set in order to implement these activities. So, knowing what healthy boundaries are, watch the other video that I have on healthy boundaries, but you need to set boundaries. Oftentimes, we get sucked into being reactive to other people, or required to be there maybe a little bit more due to our roles, our leadership. But if we're not setting healthy boundaries and putting ourselves first, then it's very hard to implement self-care in an effective way for long term. And ideally, you want to really create a habit, you want to create consistency that you can sustain for a long time and that you enjoy. So knowing what boundaries you need to set, which ones are the ones that you might have to start. There's probably also certain things when you look at your schedule. Oftentimes people say, well, I don't really have time for that. Well, do a little time audit. See what activities, like scrolling the phone or being on the internet and searching around, maybe you can save some time there and readjust your schedule. So it takes a little more deeper look into it. And the last thing I want to share before you start all activities, always have the mindset that self-care is not selfish. Self-care isn't selfish. Self-care is needed for your health and your performance. So know that it's okay to take time off. It's okay to say no. Again, healthy boundaries, right? But having that mindset that your health and your productivity matters the most will be requiring good self-care, and being aware of that will help you to not fall back or being reactive, and again helps you also with setting those boundaries. So hope this helped you to implement better self-care for yourself. Again, self-care is not selfish. You deserve it.